There are literally hundreds of types of cranes, rigging, and equipment in the construction industry, but there are some basic common safety rules that apply to all types of equipment. That's what this program is all about. Basic safety guidelines that apply to cranes and equipment, so you'll be more aware of safety and reduce the potential of an unplanned event, such as a property damage or injury. One of the more important rules is to never operate any type of equipment until you've been trained and authorized by your employer. Make sure you understand all the operating principles, rules, and information on the equipment you're using, and never use any crane that is defective or in unserviceable condition. Whenever there's any doubt about safety of the crane you're operating, stop the operation and notify your supervisor so the crane can be inspected and made safe by proper authorities. Naturally, before starting operations, inspect, test, and maintain the crane in accordance with the crane manufacturer's recommendations. Replace all parts and components showing excessive wear, damage, or other defects that could affect the safe operation of the equipment. Check all wire ropes and rigging components. Keep the machine clean and in good working order. Oil, grease, or mud on floor surfaces can cause serious falls, and dirt in working parts will cause excessive wear and possible failure. To protect yourself during the inspection process or during repairs or maintenance, lower the load to the ground. Check all protective guards and make sure all panels are in place before operating. It's important to check fuel, oil, radiator, and battery water levels. Hydraulics play a major role in crane safety, so double-check all hoses and connections for leaks, bulging, or other damage. Visually inspect all gear cases for leaks or damage. Make sure the gear case has the proper level before operating the equipment. Repair any damaged or unserviceable components. Inspect all controls to make sure they are properly working and work with ease. If control is difficult to operate, check it out. Check the pressure in the tires and check to make sure the nuts are properly torqued on all wheels. Maintain proper inflation at all times, especially when you're working with outriggers. Inspect all the instruments on the instrument panel to make sure they're working properly. Check brake air pressure and the low air pressure warning devices. Inspect the foot brake condition, headlight, clearance lights, turn signals, parking lights, tail, and stop lights. Make sure the windshield wipers and horn are working properly. Clean all windows and mirrors to increase visibility. These are the basics, but if you fail to inspect each component, you're taking a big risk. Inspect the entire machine for loose nuts, bolts, or damaged or worn parts. Be particularly watchful for cracked welds, frayed or damaged ropes, dented or damaged boom cords or other areas. The clutch and brake linings should be inspected for evidence of wear or grease and oil in the linings. Brakes and brake components are of particular importance, as serious injury to anyone working around the crane is possible if brake parts and adjustments are out of line or not properly maintained. When mounting the equipment, use proper ladders and other procedures. Don't grab wire ropes or lines because a sudden movement of the vehicle could pull your hands into the sheaves. During the operation of the equipment, the operator should watch for malfunctioning of the machine. Listen for unusual noises, loss of power, or bad response to control of the engine. Watch the gauges for abnormal conditions. If you experience a malfunction, shut the equipment down until it's checked and verified safe to operate. When you make your first load, test the winch brakes to make sure they will safely control the load. In extremely poor weather conditions, it may be unsafe to operate the crane. High wind conditions can cause the load to swing out of control or out of the intended swing area. If you can't see because of the weather conditions, it's unsafe to operate the equipment. In extremely cold conditions, the metal parts can be quite brittle, so never subject your crane to shock loads or jerky movements. During refueling operations, make sure all spark-producing devices are turned off. This includes the motor, any heaters, radios, or other such equipment. Bonding and grounding is necessary in most refueling operations, particularly when using flammable liquids. Before starting operations, make sure that all personnel are well clear of the crane. Before backing up, make sure no one is behind the crane. Use another person to help guide you when the visibility is blocked. When getting on or off the equipment, use ladders or proper handholds. Never jump off the equipment. Of course, never allow anyone to ride on the equipment. When you first start your engine, allow the engine to warm up for a few minutes to give the oil a chance to circulate. Don't operate the machine under load until the hydraulic oil has warmed to the minimum operating temperature specified by the manufacturer. To circulate the oil, operate the winches, boom hoist cylinders, boom extension cylinders, and swing mechanism to circulate the oil.